So this would be where you're talking about that high temperature. You can use this in a few different ways. You could actually use it separate, squeegee and scrubber, or you snap it back together. You're able to scrub the window, flip it around, squeegee it. They intentionally designed it so that when you do that, the scrubber stays back from the squeegee, so it doesn't tend to want to drip the water onto the glass that you're working so hard to clean. All the best quality rubber components and all of this, and Eteray's version is really one of the more versatile that allows you to be able to orient it in different ways. So that can be a good one for you. Again, more poles. Lots of poles, and the variety of the poles. You know, I just spent just a minute talking about poles. There's a combination between the number of sections as well as their telescope length. So this is what would be a 3-section 9-footer. For instance, in this aisle here, if we're working, maybe you need a pole that doesn't stick out so far behind you when you're making your downstroke. So that's where the 3-section fits in. Then you can easily telescope it up, and it'll reach all the way up to as high as 9 feet. Just a twist of the collar, and that way you can reach up higher. But the ability to have this compacted all the way down can even come down to you figuring out in your vehicle.
Take me real quick. When I first started cleaning windows before I got a water-fed pole, I went and got like a 22-foot, and I was like, and I put a squeegee on it. So I was scrubbing. I was like, the thing's wobbling around. Then I'd pull it down real quick, and I'd put the squeegee, and I'd go back up. And then it was dry, and then it wouldn't work, and I was so angry and so frustrated trying to do that. I want to know in the comments below if you can actually squeegee like a 2-story window with an extension pole and do it right, and what tool do you use to do that? Because it literally would take me 5 times on a window. I was so frustrated because it would be like that if I didn't have a ladder and I didn't have the what are those called?
The rotating scrubbers, like the
No, I'm talking about a ladder that has the feet that adjust for when you're on the side of self-adjusting legs. So I'm trying. You can extrapolate what I'm talking about, dude.
Yep, and that's kind of where you go to trying to have the right tools for your challenges. But doing what you guys do on a pole up high, squeegeeing a window, is not that easy. It's a skill that you acquire. So if you're out there and you're learning, stick with it. But next time you're out walking around and you see somebody washing windows too, watch them, because a lot of the contractors out there are really, really skilled. So more squeegees, more scrubbers. These are all from X. You can see that they have their own version of a back-to-back kind of squeegee scrubber device. Scrub the window, flip it around, squeegee it. Again, more of a specialty tool, not something you're going to use every day, but it can help solve problems for you. We also have a whole bunch of brushes, sometimes brushes for if you're washing people's siding or you're washing the surfaces around their windows, and even with screens. There's a lot of different brushes that are available. These are all synthetics. One of the fun things that we've sold over the years are these boar bristle, China bristle brushes. Yeah. These things are not real big sellers nowadays, but they do such a great job of scrubbing. These boar bristles really are about the best bristles out there that I've seen. And years ago, window cleaners would use this as their regular scrubber. There was no window cleaning mop type scrubber. So we would sell hundreds of these brushes to folks, and you would use the same brush for a long, long time. The bristles would start to just wear down and wear out. Nowadays, these are very heavy. Don't sell a whole lot of them, but boy, they do scrub the window really, really well. You mentioned self-adjusting ladder levelers. We sell some sets of those as well. Those are great accessories for you to put on the bottom of your, these are Level-E's made right over here in Michigan. And they can go right on the bottom of your extension ladder. And they will allow you to level off the surface, because obviously you guys are out there in the job site. The house might slope down, so you have to be able to level the bottom of that leveler off to be able to give a stable thing. We talked about steel wool earlier. This is bronze wool. Steel wool obviously will rust, so bronze is a little bit less, it's rust resistant.
I need to get some of that, dude, because my steel wool, I'll let it sit and it'll get all rusty. And
yeah, it starts to turn your water brown real quick, and steel wool goes quickly. They've even designed now bronze wool pads.
Oh, sweet, dude.
That will work on the old-fashioned type of doodle bug type scrubber.
Doodle bug?
That's what this used to be called, yeah. I've been around too long. So this is a kind of a fully reticulating joint here. This can be screwed onto a pole.
Bro,
Gives you
show me
great
something for scrubbing and cleaning skylights, but not the skylights that are just a skylight, the ones that are deep up inside of like a concave crevasse, like way up in there,
Sure.
without the water dripping down the wall, like,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
Sure. Well, nowadays that challenge is largely helped by the use of pure water. So Unger has a set of pads that you can put onto something similar to the doodle bug that we just looked at. And I'll show you those. They're a microfiber pad, and they're basically going to allow you to get up to there into those kind of curved surroundings. Use pure water just in a mist environment where it's not real wet. You're not introducing a lot of water, but you're polishing the surface of the skylight. And those are very, very effective and very popular. So we can walk down there now and look at those if you want to.
Sure, yeah.
Walk back over here.
I want to see the skylight pads.
Yep.
Those are sweet, dude. Because if you've tried to clean a skylight with a squeegee, check this out.
Yeah.
This thing's sick.
So this goes on to a pad holder. Fresh stock.
Here, let's switch places because the light. There you go.
So this is the pad. It's a microfiber special technology pad that Unger makes. It's designed so it really polishes. It's got a lot of that fine texture to it. I would recommend that you dampen it with pure water, which is either something you make with your pure water machine, or you can pick up a gallon of distilled water at the grocery store. That's the same thing. It doesn't have any impurities in it, so it's not going to leave any spots or stains on the glass. This just simply is held on by Velcro. You're able to put this onto a pole. It fits, Unger has an adapter, so it works out real well with their poles. Put this up there, and you'll basically almost polish clean instead of thinking of the scrubber with the squeegee. But it does a fantastic job. We sell a lot of these pads. This was a big innovation by Unger. The right level of moisture is important, so you don't want to get it too wet, because then you'll just swirl things around on the glass. But boy, if you get it right, usually you use a series of pads where you change them. You have, maybe this is the ones you put up there and it gets real dirty. You take it off, you put the next one on, you put it up there, and you're able to detail clean the edges. Works out fantastic. Makes window cleaners a lot safer too. The skylights have always presented a big challenge for window cleaners.
Well, one thing I love is the water-fed pole, especially the skylights. You can be like, hey, make sure you hit those skylights, and then you'll be in the house cleaning, and you'll see that your guy just literally can reach a water-fed pole all the way over a roof and clean a skylight, which is so cool.
Yeah, the skylights are great for the water-fed stuff on the outside for sure. Old-time, traditional tool in the window cleaning world has been the stack ladders. These are 6-foot sections. They're all made here in the United States by a company called Metallic Ladder. They've been making the same design. We've seen window cleaners be in the careers for 40 years, and they've always used stack ladders. You assemble them straight together, so there's different pieces. This is the top piece, has this nice V-groove plate to it, allows you to get in close to the work. You stack this onto your next section, and they simply stack up so that you can set the ladders up as high as you need them to be set up for work. A lot of times when you're first starting out your business, these are popular because they'll actually slide into the back of even a car. If you lay that back seat down, you can slide them inside. Not a whole lot of window cleaners are using just ladders anymore, but it's still an appropriate choice for jobs out there. Some of the purified water stuff is great for a large chunk of things, but sometimes you still need ladders, and those have really been known as window cleaning stack ladders over the years. So we can keep walking. We also sell to the high-rise community, so we have on the right side of this aisle we have all the water-fed items, and over on the other side we have all the high-rise items. These things are really specialty things, not something to think that you can just train yourself and go out there and do. There are regulations and rules about different things to make sure that you're safe in the job, make sure that you're not creating hazards for other people. But this is a viable part of the window cleaning world for sure. All those buildings that are out there, the big buildings in downtown New York City, Chicago, every other major city in the United States, there are window cleaners out there that are going to jump off the edge and hang. and clean the windows. So those are all those type of specialty tools. And nowadays we get a lot of the conversation into the water fed. So water fed pole is the technology. The system cleans the water.
Wait, 1 second, I want to show this sweet carabiner Sundays. And, oh wow, all the stuff are hanging off the side of the building, man. Let me know in the comments below if you do chair work.
Yeah, we sell a lot to the people that do the bosun's chair work. There's also more and more of stage work being done with some of the new rules that have come out.
Yeah,
it's fun. Some of these devices are, you know, rated. These carabiners are rated to hold 12,000 pounds.
yeah. Oh, cool. Okay.
All sorts of things. Even the suction cups are always kind of fun to look at. You don't actually suspend yourself by the suction cup, but you can imagine when you're hanging over the edge on a chair, you're swiveling around. Sometimes it's nice to be able to stabilize yourself, so you'll slap this onto the glass.
Suction.
It'll suction on, and then you release it to go move around. So water fed has been the thing that's really kind of blown up the industry in the last, I don't know, it's a new thing in the market for the last probably 10 years. And inside of there are so many variation of things available. We stock a few different lines of the water fed. This is mostly the Gardiner product. Things like the gooseneck at the top that deliver the water from the pole to the brush. There are so many varieties. There's difference in lengths. There's ones that swivel sideways. This style that goes into the end of the pole versus ones that screw onto the threading at the top of the pole. A whole bunch of different options. And each one of them is designed really to be able to help you service those jobs and make sure that you're able to reach all the windows effectively. The pure water work is really a mainstay now of the window cleaning world. Brushes, a whole bunch of different brushes that are available. These are a blended brush where they have the natural bristle in the middle and the like we were talking about with that boar bristle over there, that style of bristle in the middle along with nylon around the edges. Kind of gives you a little variety in how it scrubs. Does a great job. You have different brushes designed for different things. You even have brushes all the way down to small brushes, so that if you had those old historic homes that tend to have those small leaded glass windows, these can be a big appropriate tool for that. Hoses are a big part of the discussion. The hose is very lightweight, but yet it's very flexible. So this is a 300-foot hose, not very heavy. Allows you to be able to take your machine, leave it where it's in one spot on the job, and then be able to pull the hose out around. This is the Gardiner line. This is the one that comes with all of their poles that
How
we
many
sell.
feet is that?
That's 300 feet, 100 meters.
300 feet, yep.
Yep. And then you get into the gloves. We're in Michigan. Winter is a part of our regular diet and routine, for sure. Even our springs sometimes can be cold, even our falls.
Oh, sweet.
So we have a lot of different texture of gloves that are like the form fitting, like the Glacier glove there, versus ones that are more of a mechanic style.
Tape me. I want to try this glove on. So this is totally waterproof?
It is. Loosen up that wrist strap there and it'll let you get into it. There you go. Completely waterproof, gives you good dexterity. Nice. It's a good texture here.
It's like some RoboCop.
Yeah, grab that.
Wait.
There you go.
The way the gloves it looks like it's like a never mind. So
They call that their perfect curve because the fingers are pre-bent for you.
how much are these?
Those gloves run about 30 bucks.
Dude, these are sweet. Okay, you can have it back.
But we have all sorts of different types of gloves and styles. That's good that you enjoyed that one. These are probably the warmest gloves that we sell, and while they look ridiculously huge,
That's sweet.
they're really warm, and the texture of them allow you to be able to grip items and not have to squeeze. Because, you know, with keeping your hands warm out there, one of the keys is the blood flow.
Rubber?
It's like a diamond cut rubber. Yeah. It's like a PVC that's dipped in this diamond type stuff. It's, hey, you know, gloves are important, right? So.
Sorry.
You're good. You're good. The liners also pull out, because one of the things that you guys also notice as contractors when you're out there is after sweating in your gloves and wearing them for a while, they can tend to have an odor to them. So you can pull these out and wash the linings independent of the outsides. That way you can get a fresh pair for the morning.
Okay, so here's an important question. If somebody's cleaning windows and it's that cold, how are they stopping the solution from freezing on the windows?
Yeah, well, there's only a few things that bend nature, and what you're trying to do is make water not freeze at the temperature that's normal. So the strongest version is alcohol based, so you would use methanol. Most window cleaners are using windshield washer solvent, or maybe some will use RV antifreeze, not RV antifreeze. Really largely they'll use the window cleaning solvent. And in the windshield washer solvent, when you buy it, you got to watch it because it can be rated from the different manufacturers for different temperatures. And what you're concerned are really the wind chills. When you get that water all spread out on the glass, it might only be 25 degrees, but when the wind blows, it might drop the wind chill down to where it's below 0. So the alcohol in the windshield washer solvent's what makes it not freeze. And it's not easy work, but you know what? It's the way it is in these northern cities. We have cold.